Have you ever felt that invisible weight, like a heavy backpack full of unspoken worries, old hurts, or just that general emotional gunk that just seems to cling to you no matter what? We all carry some of it, don't we? It just kind of builds up. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into a really powerful concept designed to lighten that exact load. It's drawn from Sherianna Boyle's insightful book, Emotional Detox: 7 Steps to Release Toxicity and Energize Joy. And it's a truly refreshing take on how we interact with our inner world.
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission with this deep dive is to really unpack Boyle's systematic yet, incredibly mindful approach to purging what she calls these undigested emotions.
Yeah,
Think of it maybe like a reset button for your emotional
the
landscape.
reset button. I like.
Exactly. The goal is really to help you rewrite those old negative stories, clear pathways for new, healthier habits, and ultimately reconnect with your natural inherent state of joy. We're going to explore not just what an emotional detox involves, but really why it's so vital for living a truly abundant and, well, fulfilling life.
And the material we've pulled for you today is exceptionally rich. It draws heavily from Boyle's own incredibly personal journey, which is quite something, and also her transformative C.L.E.A.N.S.E formula. It's packed with practical techniques and offers a genuinely fresh perspective on how we can relate to and ultimately transform our emotional energy.
Okay, so let's unpack this idea of an emotional detox. When you hear detox, you probably immediately think about, well, physical cleansing, right?
Right, like cutting out sugar or caffeine or maybe some chemicals. That's the usual association.
Exactly. But Boyle makes a really crucial distinction here. She says an emotional detox is profoundly different. She actually writes that it has little to do with the physical and everything to do with you as a spiritual being.
Hmm.
So it's more of an introspective process, like a journey inward to rewrite those negative stories, thoughts, beliefs that have become sort of attached to our emotions, leaving you feeling, hopefully, energized, clear, and genuinely fulfilled. And what's fascinating here is the analogy Boyle uses for our emotions. She compares them to overprocessed and undigested foods.
Okay.
Just like those foods, our emotions can become, well, unnatural and actually deplete our energy if we're constantly thinking about them, analyzing them, or, pushing them down, instead of truly feeling them in their raw state.
Right, instead of just experiencing them.
Yeah. She describes this detox as a reaction cleanse, a way to flesh out high levels of stress, worry, defensiveness. And it does make you wonder, why do we tend to overprocess our emotions like that in the first place?
That's such a key question, isn't it? Boyle suggests it's often a deep-seated resistance, like a subconscious way to avoid the raw experience of our feelings. Because let's face it, they can be uncomfortable.
Totally. It's almost like we'd rather analyze them to death than just sit with them.
Yeah, thinking feels safer somehow.
Exactly. And that resistance, that very act of overthinking, paradoxically, is what depletes our energy and keeps us stuck.
So, as we explore this, you listening might be wondering, okay, does this apply to me? Well, Boyle gives us some really tangible signs that an emotional detox could be exactly what you need. As I read these, I found myself nodding along to quite a few.
They're quite relatable.
They really are. See if any of these resonate for you.
Yeah.
Things like trying to fix everyone else's problems all the time,
Mm-hmm. The fixer.
or feeling guilty for saying no,
Mm.
becoming less engaged with people, maybe avoiding certain people or places,
Right, withdrawing.
spending too much time alone, maybe ignoring your gut feelings. That's a big one.
Oh, definitely.
Also feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of balance, constantly comparing yourself to others, and that awful feeling of not being good enough.
That comparison trap is so easy to fall into.
It really is. And if you often feel like you work incredibly hard but nothing really changes, or if you find yourself self-doubting or second-guessing choices, these are all powerful indicators. Boyle highlights. So if any of those hit home, you're definitely not alone, and this deep dive is absolutely for you.
And Boyle, she bravely shares her personal story, which truly demonstrates just how profoundly impactful this work can be. She had actually planned to write about emotional detox before a major life crisis hit her.
Wow, really?
Yeah. After discovering her husband's affair, she describes being, in her words, physically and psychologically to her knees. Just devastated. It was that point she realized she had, quote, no choice but to go through the process herself.
So she had to live the detox she planned to write about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Turning her devastating crisis into an opportunity for deep healing and embracing what she now sees as her higher purpose. Her journey powerfully underscores that emotional detoxes aren't just like a nice idea. They're an essential, transformative process, especially when facing profound challenges.
That's such a powerful testament to the work itself. It makes you wonder then, how do we actually do this in our own lives? Maybe before a crisis hits, how do we approach our emotions differently day to day?
That's where Boyle introduces this incredibly vivid concept of going raw with our emotions.
Reeling raw, like food.
Kind of. Think about a fresh, vibrant carrot you might get from a farmer's market versus, say, a plastic bag of frozen, maybe processed carrots.
Okay, I see the difference. One feels alive, the other less so?
Exactly. The fresh one is vital and nutritious, the other less so, sometimes even altered. Going raw with emotions means digesting our pure emotions as they are, unfiltered by our fears, anxieties, or all those mental layers we tend to add.
That raw carrot analogy really sticks with me. It's almost like we've been conditioned to think emotions need to be cooked, spiced, served up in a particular way,
Right, process.
rather than just experienced in their natural state. It's such a fundamental reframe, isn't it? Like giving yourself permission to just feel.
Precisely.
Mm.
And to take that idea a step further, Boyle provides really clear contrast in energy levels. She highlights that energy-increasing approaches involve things like feeling, noticing, observing, compassion, focusing, and allowing. Active engagement, but gentle.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the energy-depleting approaches are all about thinking, projecting, reacting, criticism, distracting, and analyzing.
So it's mind versus body, almost?
In a way, yes. It's a profound shift from being caught up in all that mental noise to simply connecting with the actual bodily sensation. And here's a truly powerful reframing Boyle offers.
Mm.
She insists we see emotional detoxes not as setbacks or punishments, but as opportunities, not detours.
Opportunities, not detours. I like that.
And crucially, she says they're about healing, not recovering. This isn't just wordplay.
Okay, explain that difference. Healing versus recovering.
Well, recovery, she suggests, often implies a sort of brokenness, maybe a constant struggle, or even the chance of relapse, like you're always fighting something off.
Right, like recovering from an illness.
Exactly. But healing, in Boyle's view, is about returning to an inherent state of wholeness that was always within you. It was just covered up.
So it's uncovering, not fixing.
Precisely. It's a profound shift from trying to fix something you perceive as wrong to simply unveiling what's already complete and true within yourself.
That distinction really resonates. It feels less like a struggle and more like an unfolding process. Boyle frames this emotional detox as a mindful practice, much like meditation or chanting or Tai Chi maybe, something that truly requires commitment.
Yeah, it's not a quick fix.
No. She suggests cultivating the mindset that emotions are a treat rather than a form of treatment.
A treat. That's an interesting way to put it.
Isn't it? This shift in perspective, seeing your emotions as something to engage with mindfully, curiously maybe, is foundational to the entire process she outlines. So before we get into the core C.L.E.A.N.S.E steps, Boyle really stresses that setting the stage is absolutely crucial.
Yes, preparation is key.
She outlines some vital physical and mental preparations, essentially, tuning your body and mind for the journey ahead. Let's start with the physical foundations she recommends.
Absolutely. Think of it like priming your internal environment for this deep work. We're talking about consistent exercise aiming for about 30 minutes, 4 or 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be intense. Even simple things like taking the stairs can help get things moving.
Okay, movement is important.
Definitely. Then there's ample hydration.
Yeah.
Increasing water intake to around 8 glasses a day is key. Boyle even notes research linking more water to improve mood and just, better physiological sensations overall.
Simple but effective.
Very. And really nurturing your gut health with probiotics. That could be through drinks like kombucha or maybe capsules. There's research like Mary Toscano's highlighting how gut bacteria can actually influence the brain and link to things like depression and anxiety.
Wow, the gut-brain connection again.
It's huge. Plus, making conscious choices around limiting dairy, especially dairy with added hormones. Boyle says it can wreak havoc on the digestive and nervous systems.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, minimizing alcohol and drugs. These tend to depress emotions and lower consciousness, making it really difficult to maintain that bodily awareness you need for detoxing.
You need to be present.
Exactly. And Boyle advises seeking support if stopping these things is a challenge, which is important.
So those are some key physical foundations. And beyond the physical, there are important mental and lifestyle shifts she emphasizes too, right?
Absolutely. Boyle highlights the importance of clean eating, focusing on low sodium, low sugar, whole foods. Things like quinoa, avocados, lean meats, fruits high in calcium, and dopamine-rich foods like bananas and turmeric.
So fueling your body well.
Yes, and keeping nuts and fruit handy for snacks is also recommended, just for stability. Then, crucially, reducing distractions and extra responsibilities. Maybe minimizing social media, really trying to focus on your healing journey for the next several months. It takes time.
Giving yourself space.
Exactly. Which brings us to the often challenging but critical step of requesting and accepting help. That can be tough for a lot of us,
Very tough.
but vital.
Right.
And finally, prioritizing sleep. Adults generally need 7 to 8 hours. Sleep, she says, is how our bodies download the emotions of the day and integrate the healing.
Download the emotions.
Isn't it? She knows it generally takes about 90 days, roughly 3 months, to really change your brain pathways and create a new habit. So consistency is key.
Okay, so with our emotional aquarium prepared, as it were, and our mindset shifted, let's dive into the core of Boyle's book.
Yeah.
The 7-step C.L.E.A.N.S.E formula.
Right, the heart of the process.
It stands for clear, look inward, emit, activate joy, nourish, surrender, and ease. And she stresses it's not about mechanically doing the steps like a checklist.
Not at all. It's much more about building a conscious, mindful relationship with your own emotional energy.
Okay, so the first crucial step is see clear. What does that involve?
This first step helps you tune into your reactivity level. Like, are you on a low simmer, a medium heat, or a high blast? She uses this great analogy of a gas stove flame.
Ah, I can picture that. Low, medium, high flame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you actively engage your vagus nerve. Oh, this isn't just some, fancy term. It's a major nerve highway connecting your brain to your gut and other organs. It's crucial for calming your body's stress response.
So how do you engage it?
Simple actions, actually. Things like splashing cold water on your face, humming, doing a gentle cat and cow yoga stretch, something she calls a fear tap on your hand, or even just placing your hands on your forehead. These can actually tone this nerve, helping to dial down that emotional heat, that reactivity.
Interesting. So physical actions to calm the system.
Right. And the step ends with a quick 10-second body scan, especially good first thing in the morning, just to clear away any reactivity that might have popped up overnight.
Okay, clear. Makes sense. What's next? L, look inward.
Yes, look inward. And Boyle makes a really important distinction here.
Yeah.
It's not just about self-reflection, like thinking about your feelings.
Okay.
It's about truly witnessing your feelings, those raw physical sensations in your body, rather than just intellectualizing or analyzing them in your head.
So feeling the actual tightness or the warmth or the flutter without immediately slapping a label on it or trying to figure it out.
That's exactly it. She calls this body dialoguing, essentially having a direct, non-judgmental conversation with what your body is experiencing right now.
Body dialoguing. I like that phrase.
Me too. Boyle shares her own experience of feeling intense social overwhelm. Her ego, her mind, initially wanted medication to numb it. But she talks about standing up to the inner bully, which led her to use looking inward statements, just describing the jittery, tight, alert sensations she felt in her body. Pure observation.
Wow.
And she notes that proper exhaling, like pulling the navel towards the spine, even inhaling deeply like inflating a tire, creates a sense of safety in the body, allowing for this deeper body dialoguing.
Creates safety. That feels important. Okay, so after looking inward, we move to E, emit. Sounds active.
It is. This step focuses on emotional release, specifically through sound.
Or sound, like shouting.
Not necessarily shouting, though maybe sometimes. Boyle explains how specific sound waves like chanting ah or hum, maybe with a gentle pelvic floor lift, can help balance energy centers in the body.
Energy centers, chakras.
Exactly, chakras. She says these sounds balance the chakras, those energetic centers that Boyle emphasizes are key to emotional flow. But what's really fascinating is the connection she makes to the colon.
The colon, how does that fit in? That stood out to me too.
It's pretty wild, isn't it? She notes that these sound practices can connect to the colon, which is where she states 95% of available serotonin is produced. That's your feel-good neurotransmitter.
95%. Wow.
Right. She even recounts a colonic specialist explaining that emotions are processed through the gut, highlighting this incredibly profound mind-body connection.
So releasing sound helps release stuff in the gut, emotionally speaking.
That's the idea. This step also helps release a clamped jaw, which she connects energetically to our core and our throat chakra, areas that can really block emotional flow if they're tight. And Emit is also about setting internal boundaries, learning to speak your truth from your core. She uses the example of her husband after the affair, needing to share his whereabouts consistently to rebuild trust that was him admitting his truth.
Okay, that makes sense. Sound, release, boundaries. Got it. Next up is A, activate joy.
Yes, activate joy. And Boyle is really clear here. Joy is not the same as happiness.
Oh, how does she differentiate them?
Happiness, she says, is often temporary, maybe dependent on external circumstances.
Right.
Like getting a new car might make you happy for a bit.
Right, fleeting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas joy,
Mm.
she describes as an infinite connection. It's more permanent, peaceful, resilient. It's an inner state, not based on what's happening outside.
An inner state of being.
Right. This step teaches you how to activate it, often by focusing on opening your third eye, your intuition center, and your heart center.
Hmm.
She notes that the heart's energy field is apparently 60 times stronger than the one around the brain, which is incredible.
60 times stronger.
So the implication is we have to feel our way to joy, not just think our way there.
Feel, don't think. That's a recurring theme.
It really is.
Yeah.
She shares a personal story of finding joy, even after what she describes as a really shitty day, just by sitting and writing in her mother's backyard, finding that connection within. She also makes a useful distinction between wanting, which she says is brain-driven, coming from a place of lack, and having, which is heart-driven, coming from a sense of inner plenty. Focusing on having helps activate joy.
Wanting versus having. Interesting distinction. Okay, next is N, nourish. What does that entail?
Nourish is all about actively, consciously cultivating positive emotional energy. It's like tending your inner garden.
Okay, how do we do that?
It includes simple daily practices like appreciation aloud. For example, actually saying out loud, what I appreciate about X is Y. Voicing gratitude.
Simple but powerful.
Very. It also involves developing a drishti, which is a Sanskrit term for a focused gaze. In this context, it means letting go of agendas and conversations, being fully present for genuine connection.
So better listening, essentially.
Yes, and becoming a better listener through techniques like mirroring what the other person says to show you've heard them, really creating connection. Boyle's own story of forgiving her husband relatively early in the process, even when others didn't understand, fits here too. She frames forgiveness not as condoning, but as a choice to move through pain.
Ah, so forgiveness nourishes you regardless of the other person.
Exactly. It's a natural way to nourish oneself, letting go of that painful energy, independent of external validation or opinions.
Makes sense. Okay, step 6 is S, surrender. This sounds potentially difficult.
It can be, but it's crucial. This step teaches you to let it flow, rather than fighting or futilely trying to force yourself to let it go, which often doesn't work.
Let it flow, not let it go. What's the difference in practice?
It's less about pushing away and more about allowing things to move through you without resistance. It involves practices like consciously surrendering heaviness to Mother Earth, expanding your inhale as if you're smelling a beautiful flower opening up, and actively replacing feelings of guilt with self-acceptance.
Self-acceptance instead of guilt. That's huge.
Isn't it? Boyle shares how she shifted from over-explaining everything to her teenagers to just allowing them space to rise to the occasion themselves, trusting the flow. She also cautions that oversharing about past trauma, like putting too much dressing on a salad, she says, can actually interfere with this surrender process. It keeps you stuck in the story.
So finding the right balance in sharing.
Right. She encourages seeing your detox journey as a service, not just to yourself, but to others too, by bringing your whole healed self to the world. That helps with the surrender.
Okay, surrender. And finally, we arrive at the last step, ease. What's the focus here?
Ease poses a really great question. If I am not reacting, what am I doing instead?
Good question. What are you doing?
The answer she provides is simple, yet quite profound. You're focusing on how you feel. You're present in your body, in the moment. Building trust, both with yourself and others, requires 3 key ingredients according to Boyle. Vulnerability, which is about feeling, boundaries, and compassion.
Vulnerability, boundaries, compassion. The trifecta.
Exactly. She shares a really telling story about a stressful emergency tech situation with her daughters. Her initial instinct was to reassure them, saying everything is fine, even though she was terrified. But she later realized she needed to be honest about her own fear and terror for genuine trust to take root between them. That vulnerability was key.
Wow, that takes courage.
It does. This final step, ease, offers a practical toolkit for bringing this into daily living. Things like showing up with presence, doing one thing at a time instead of frantic multitasking.
I need that one.
Me too. Knowing your pause button is in your navel, a centering technique. using visualizations, enjoying hobbies, decluttering your space, mindful eating, and developing grounding rituals. Basically integrating this easeful presence into life.
That's a comprehensive set of tools for ease.
Definitely. It's about making it sustainable. So if we zoom out a bit now and look at the cumulative impact of all this work, of Boyle's whole approach, understanding that fundamental difference between overprocessed emotions and whole, raw emotions is just critical. When reactivity is truly released, she says something profound.
Yeah.
There is no negative, bad, or worse. You won't be able to connect with that mindset because you are more in sync with connecting to joy.
Wow. So you literally shift your frequency.
That's the idea.
Hmm.
This profound shift means you're not just managing emotions anymore, you're truly transforming your energetic state at its core.
That's a really powerful vision for what's possible. And, even if you listening aren't personally going through a full-on emotional detox right now, Boyle provides some really useful guidance on supporting friends or family members who might be.
Well, that's important too, yeah. How to be supportive.
Right. It involves things like listening without judgment, which sounds simple but isn't always easy. Treating each day as a fresh start with them, not constantly bringing up the past.
Letting go of grudges, essentially.
Exactly. And avoiding projecting your fears onto them or trying to mind read what they need.
Yeah, just holding space.
It's really about giving others the space they need to process their own emotions, recognizing that true support often means simply being present without trying to jump in and fix them.
So after going through all these steps, after doing the preparation, the C.L.E.A.N.S.E formula, what's the ultimate outcome? What really transforms when someone embraces this entire process? Boyle explains that it leads to what she calls organic partnerships, which are relationships based on a deep, profound confidence in connection.
Organic partnerships, meaning healthier relationships.
Healthier, more authentic. Yes, it means you learn to deactivate reactivity before speaking to each other. You pause first, and you consciously notice and state what each other appreciates, building that positive energy.
Taking things less personally, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It leads to taking things less personally and ultimately cultivating a durable and reliable frequency of joy within yourself, which then radiates outward. She even shares how her husband, through his own related journey, found he worried about money less and felt a stronger connection to, well, God or something larger than himself.
And that led to practical changes.
Apparently, yes. It led to unexpected job opportunities opening up for him. It's about aligning your internal state, that frequency, to attract more positive experiences.
And so inner shifts leading to outer changes.
That's the core idea running through the book.
Okay. As we start to wrap up this deep dive into Sherianna Boyle's emotional detox, there's a really powerful truth she shares from Dr. Wayne Dyer that feels like a great place to pause. He said, "Remember that your natural state is joy. You are a product of joy and love. It's natural for you to experience these feelings."
So fast, that's truly our natural state. What would your life look like, feel like, if you really committed to truly feeling your way back to that natural, joyful frequency? It's a big question to sit with. It really is. And consider this too. The very fact that you're listening, that you're drawn to understanding something like an emotional detox, it suggests you already possess the capacity for this healing and joy within you. As Boyle puts it so well, you wouldn't admire those qualities if you did not have them yourself. Somewhere inside of you, these qualities and characteristics exist. So maybe the final thought is, what qualities do you admire in others, perhaps resilience or peace or joy, that you are ready right now to acknowledge and start unleashing within yourself starting today?